1 year ago today that Sean Smith, an information specialist working in Benghazi, was one of 4 Americans killed in Libya on this day, September 11, 2012. The president vowing to bring his killers to justice. Smith's mother says that's a commitment that has not been kept. Pat Smith is with me now live in San Diego, California. Good morning to you, and I'm certain this has been a day that you have not been looking forward to. I know you've not.
Good morning.
You've not gotten the answers you've been looking for. What would explain that to you?
They didn't want to tell me. Very simple. They don't want me to know, or I'm not important enough. I don't know. I don't have answers. That's another answer I don't have.
The president said at the Pentagon just about an hour ago, this day last year in Benghazi, and the Attorney General, Eric Holder, mentioned it as well. What does that mean to you now?
In which way?
Does it move you? Does it strike you as perhaps the answers you've been looking for may perhaps now come, or not?
Are you kidding me? I've got no answers. And if the president told me he was giving me answers, where are they? He promised me face-to-face at the casket ceremony he would give me answers. He did not. I don't know what you want me to say. I did not get any answers yet.
I can tell, I can hear it in your voice. And I can only offer you my sympathy at the moment. This is what the White House offered people like you last night. About 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, a statement came out. This is what it said in part. The events of last year, losing 4 brave Americans, Chris Stevens, Sean Smith, Glenn Doherty, and Tyrone Woods, brought home the reality of the challenges we face in the world. We remain committed to bringing the perpetrators of the Benghazi attacks to justice and to ensuring the safety of our brave personnel serving overseas. Does that mean anything to you?
Yes, a bunch of bull feathers.
And you don't believe it?
Not a bit.
When was the last time you were in Washington?
The last time was for the hearings. I don't know what you'd call it. It was the hearings that they had.
So it's been a few months, and I just.
Oh yes.
But with whom do you have contact with? I mean, your frustration is clear, and you're still a grieving mother. Who do you go to push along to figure out what happened that night?
That's kind of curious, because the only way I could find out what happened is to go searching for myself. There is nobody in Washington giving me any answers other than the media.
When you search, what do you do? What questions do you ask? What sources do you look for? What people do you push?
A lot of times it's a telephone call I get, or an email I get, or something really weird. Like I got an email from a terrorist saying he's an ex-terrorist. Can he help me? He's got information for me. Now this is kind of crazy, that a terrorist would reach out to me before my own government. But this is what happens.
I'm reading from the Washington Times that wrote a piece on this today. Earlier this summer, the Justice Department filed charges against a Libyan militia leader. He remains in Libya, living in the open. Living in the open.
Yes, I've heard of him.
Yeah. The fact that reporters can go to Benghazi and have a cup of coffee with this man? How does that make you feel?
Well, absolutely. I feel that he's got a lot more presence than I do. It's kind of crazy. It's the craziest thing I ever saw. I never expected this from my government.
Oh, I bet.
And I never... they all lie to me. And it's hard. It's just hard. I can't explain it.
Wow.
It's
Pat,
just really hard. All they got to do is tell me the truth.
Yeah. We're looking for that on your behalf and on behalf of the American people. But do you think today that you'll ever get the answers you need?
Eventually I will. Eventually I will. I don't know where it'll be, how it'll be, or anything, but I will not give up.
Wow.
That was my only child. And I know he was doing his job, and he was doing what he wanted to do, and he was doing what he was sent to do. But they could tell me. They could just tell me, if it's only to say, I really don't know. But what they do tell me is, it was the video, and we'll get back to you. I promise.
Our best to you. Patricia Smith
Thank
is
you.
live in San Diego, and we've been in touch with you over the last year, and this is the most emotional I have heard you. But I want to thank you for coming on today, because I know today is a very difficult day. But my best to you in your search for answers, whether that's months or hopefully not years. Pat Smith, thank you.
Oh, I want answers. I most definitely want answers.
I can hear it.
And I know I'll get them somehow, some way, but I will get those answers.
All right. Stay strong. Thank you again for your time.
Uh-huh.
All right. 19 minutes before the hour now. Back to New York City and Ground Zero.
Pat Smith speaks of the tragedy in her family a year ago, and now we look back at the live pictures from Ground Zero 12 years after the attacks of September 11th on the U.S. homeland. A new poll asking people, are we any safer today from terrorism? We're going to tell you what a growing number of Americans are saying.